Is there anyone here new tonight? Chris is new. Yeah. Okay, well, this is the monthly meeting, and like Joe just mentioned, we pack everybody out every Tuesday night, so we might rethink about having the quick starts on the same week as the main meetings. Any thoughts about that? Skip a week, you know, just so there's still one, instead of having 2 meetings in 1 week, you know, just do 1 meeting. Susan? Well, there's going to be, what, 9? There are 9 pro university classes. So once you get through those 9, there will be other opportunities, other workshops, other types of classes that show up from time to time. But it's not, you know, those are kind of the intro type classes. Those are the core classes. And I mean, once you get through those, you're going to want to do the monthly meetings, and then of course we're going to continue to provide education in one way or another, whether that's online with, you know, type of stuff that we're doing. We're going to have boot camps coming up. We're going to have Saturdays. We have, actually it's on my thing here, we have Larry Harbolt, who is a nationally recognized real estate investor speaker that's going to be here in April. So we're going to start bringing in some outside speakers to come in once a month. Now, you'll want to run through those 9 classes. We'll continue to improve those as time goes on, and then we'll have some other stuff that's coming up weekly and monthly. You can. I mean, you can go to as many as you want.
I think what she means is when they start, yes, they are rotating.
Oh, yes, they will run the full year. When Class 9 ends, the next week, Class 1 will begin. So if you miss a class, you can either watch it online or you can go sit through it when it loops back in 9 weeks.
And there'll be changes from time to time. We may get a new teacher. There may be something new that we need to learn. So we expect to maybe see a couple of classes added.
And our goal is to continue to provide education. So if there's something you want, there's something, you know, there's a subject you're interested in, let us know, and we'll look into that. Yeah, and that's what we're looking at. I think that's why there's probably not a lot of people here. Some of them might figure they just watch it online. And yeah, two in 1 week like that. That's what I'm thinking. Are you guys be okay with that? Would that make a little more sense for everybody? Yeah. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. Bob likes it. Okay, we'll do it. Okay, so we do have a new guest policy. We do want to try to recruit some people, get some more people, some more blood in the door. So what we're going to do, new policy, if you have a guest that has never been and they want to come to the main meeting, they can come as a guest one time. So we'll let them come to the main meeting for free once. They just need to send Karen an email and get on the guest list. 3:30 day of would be about the latest that you would want to do that. So if you know somebody out there that wants to come, they can come to the main meeting as a guest once. Then of course the first ProRia University class, the intro class, the secret to real estate investing, that's also a class that they can come do for free. So that's open. Any questions about that? All right. Did anyone take a look at the website with some of the stuff? We have some new modules that we're working on the website. I tried to send the PowerPoint slides out to you guys. The PowerPoint slide got messed up when I converted it to the PDF. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all those PowerPoints on the website. So they will all be there in the library section. And I sent an email out that told you how to do it. I don't know if did anyone get a chance to go in there and mess with it, and then you open it up and the PDF was corrupted? Okay, well I'll fix that and get the PowerPoint slides on there correctly. So in the library section on there, you'll have all the PowerPoint slides. My goal is to send them to you ahead of time so you can just print the notes out and then have them here and then just, you know, scribble down the notes. Go ahead. All of them. They'll all be on there. They'll all be on there. You'll have access. As long as it's the Saturday programs are a separate thing. If you pay to go to the Saturday, if you attend to the Saturday, then you'll have access. I can set different access levels on the website. I haven't done it yet, but I can. So if you go to a Saturday, I could start a new group and put your name on it and then give you that access for that PowerPoint slide. Okay, any other questions about the PowerPoint slides? Good to go. Okay, I did get wholesaling video number 2 on there, and we're going to get Peter Pistano's short sales. What did you guys think of Peter's? Man, that was good stuff, wasn't it? Peter has a lot of knowledge. We're going to try to work him in on a Saturday coming up at some point. We still got to work a few things in with him and organize that a little bit, but we are going to have a more in-depth look at some short sales in the future with Peter. And let's see, next month, I want to try to motivate you guys. Next month, if whoever brings the most guests is going to get $100 cash. Okay, so if you know somebody, you know a couple people, whoever brings the most guests to next month's meeting is getting $100 real estate investor cash. That's 10% of your $1,000 binder.
Am I eligible?
You are not eligible. Open bars out there. What you do with the Marriott is your own business. Karen, we're going to give Karen, I'm going to steal Joe's joke. We're going to give Karen a little, she's going to have a little mirror. If it fogs up, they're in. Okay, we also have, real quick, we have another module on the website, and this is going to be for deals. So we're going to be posting some wholesaling deals on the actual website. I can tell you right now, it's not awesome. It's not going to be like Postlets or some of the other, e-property sites or some of the other really cool, listing websites out there. But it'll at least be able to provide a link on there and where you can post the property and then click that link and then open that up into like a nice website for a property for sale. I will spend more time on that when I'm going to put together some training videos for you guys and email them to you that show you some pretty cool stuff about the website. Okay, so there's stuff that we can do with the back end part of that website that's pretty cool. We also have a classified section. I don't think I'm going to let anybody in here try to adopt a dog out or anything, but we do have a classified section on the website. Has anyone seen that yet? It's kind of a little module on there. Yeah, see, I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to do a training video, and it'll be like the screen of the website. And when you're looking at that, you'll see the screen just like you would if you were really sitting there, and you'll see me messing around on it, showing you how you can do that. Okay. Yeah, it's like Craigslist. We have a module on there for like your own Craigslist on the website. I don't know if anyone would want to use that or not, but
no personals, please.
Yeah, no personals, guys. Thank you. It's set up that way. We really want to try to gear it more towards selling deals and renting properties and real estate type stuff. I mean, I don't really want you posting like your.
Well, no, I mean, Adam,
you could. We could expand on that. We could do that type of stuff. The more input I get from you guys, the more I can work that into what we have going on. So.
Yeah. I mean, we have around 110 members now.
We have 101 members as of yesterday.
That is a pretty good bit of people there. I mean, if you want to put a car on there, put a car on there. We really don't care. Adam thinks it ought to be just real estate, but I think it's a service to our members. It's ours. That's
what I said. You tell me what you want to do. I need input from you guys. If you want that, let me know. I can work that in. The module exists, so just let me know what you want. I'm going to spend some time on that video showing you what's on there. And then after you watch that video, I'll send you guys like a survey or something. And then fill that survey out and tell me what you do and don't like. And then I will modify that module for you to use, okay? So the website has more capabilities than you realize. We just need to get you guys using it. It is a little different because it's a member-based type thing. When you get these membership softwares, they're a lot of bit different than some of the other websites out there. Last thing that I have before Joe comes up here and talks, he's going to give an update on the Jacksonville real estate market. He's got some really good information for you guys tonight. The last thing I have, has anyone here heard of RealQuest? A lot of people shaking their head. We're trying to work a deal out with RealQuest right now for you guys. We told them, look, we have enough members, give us some type of discount, so we're working that in right now, and I'll have more information for you guys on that coming up. And if it would be for the pro. And it would include the searches and the maps and probably the foreclosure data. We're not sure if we're going to do that one yet or not.
Well, it comes with the maps. So if we get the maps, we'll do the foreclosure data.
That's right. The foreclosure. Yeah. If you get the maps, you get the foreclosure.
It's an add-on to the package. We're going to spend time with that. Part of the Saturday
custom searches.
Part of the Saturday wholesaling seminar is going to be using RealQuest.
That's correct. I'm going to turn it over to Joe. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Correct. It's two separate modules. Classified and we have a real estate module that's separate.
Yes, there are 2 separate modules. You can post properties for rent, properties for sale, and the real estate for sale or for rent module. And then there's a straight up classifieds module. It's like pets, appliances, kitchen cabinets, like whatever you want.
And I say we just leave that open. Let people put anything they want on there.
Yeah, we can do that.
You know, something really silly.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, yeah, sure, that would be great. And yeah, I mean, you guys, I think that would help you guys out, wouldn't it? I have a fridge, just pulled out of a property, just sold it, I don't need it. Who needs this fridge?
Right. Well, we will also, we haven't put together any kind of a vendor program yet, but we're working on it. And what we told our vendors was just sign up as a member, and then whatever we do for vendors, we're not sure, but we're leaning toward having a list of vendors, and it may only be like $50 a year to get on that list. So we'll have other opportunities for those of you that have businesses to be able to advertise those businesses.
We actually are going to do that. There's already a spot on the website for a vendor list. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start we have a lot of vendors with our property management company. So we're going to start going to them and being like, hey, look, we have 101 members. You want to be on this vendor list on the website, and offer up some type of discount for our members.
Well, what we don't want, most of the RIAs have vendors, they bring in tables and they set it up. I've just never liked that atmosphere. And I've been a vendor before and it never did me any good. So we're going to be more web-based, but anytime you're here, if you're a member, feel free to hand out your business cards. That's what ProRIA is all about. It is networking, and we all want to make money, and we're not ashamed of making money, and we certainly encourage you to advertise your business within ProRIA at any function.
And not a lot of people are using it, but you do have profiles on the website. I've seen there's only 5 or 6 people using it. But if you are an interior designer, you're a renovator, you're a wholesaler, whatever, you could use that profile and put your information on there. You can even add a photo and stuff. So I promise I will spend some time going over the website and showing you guys what you can and can't do, and showing you how to use some of the different modules so where you can communicate with each other when you're not here during one of the, that week, or, if you miss a month or whatever. In between meetings, you guys need to be communicating with each other as members. Any other questions? All right, we turn it over to Joe.
Okay, we're going to be talking tonight. Tonight is going to be my famous state of the market address. Okay, I took my old State of the Union address and just altered it a little bit. We want to talk about what's going on today, and some of the stuff I know because I'm doing it. Some of it I don't, so I've done research, and I'm going to ask some of you guys to participate also. Let's begin with talking about sellers. Who's buying? Who are the active sellers? I can tell you in our business, we are buying REOs. The banks are the sellers, financial institutions. One thing we've noticed about this market is we really have to hustle to get a deal. How many people Tuesday night heard Peter talk about he's getting 15 to 20 offers on every REO? And then he said, it's really, really hard. You guys are going to have a hard time buying REOs. That's only if you don't know what you're doing. We bought 4 this week. Okay, so you can buy REOs if you learn what you're doing. Is it more difficult? Yes. Basically, you've really got to hustle. There's a lot of competition out there, and if you think you will casually buy a few REOs, if you do, they're not going to be good deals because they're going to be the ones that I didn't want and other wholesalers didn't want and people that are active out there every day didn't want. If an REO doesn't have 15, 20 offers on it and at least 5 the first day, then it's probably overpriced. So you can buy them if you want to pay too much, but if you want to buy them at a real good price, you've really got to hustle. The other place that we buy properties is motivated sellers. The best way to reach motivated sellers that I know of is direct mail and word of mouth, and that's what we're doing. To tell you the truth, we've been slacking off our motivated sellers a little bit, but we've actually being involved in getting this organization kicked off the ground. It's taken a lot of our time and a lot of concentration. So we're just now getting back and getting everything ramped up again to move properties. So basically, this is a fantastic way to buy properties. We're getting back in now to buying from motivated sellers. We use a lot of direct mail and word of mouth. The thing about this market is it's kind of being ignored. You do not have a lot of competition. We all talk about it. Let me ask you, has anybody recently gotten a letter from someone that said they wanted to buy their house that owned a rental property? How long ago?
3 months.
3 months? Well, that's pretty good. I haven't gotten one in over a year. Okay, Doug, how about you? Doug says not for a while. Okay, so basically that market is being ignored. We all want to buy REOs because they're the low-hanging fruit, but there's a whole market out there in motivated sellers that's being ignored. If you come to my wholesaling course on Saturday, March 3rd, I'm going to tell you how to reach that market. It's not difficult. It's one of the easiest markets to reach. Okay, and here's one. I had said in the advertisement for tonight that I was going to tell you something that's could be a hot deal that nobody's doing, and that's probate. How many people are actively buying and looking at probate properties? Not one in the room. And I'm going to tell you, nobody is. That is a market that I sent 20 letters to people that had advertised, or I'd seen the advertisements. I believe Doug told me they call that a notice to creditors. And you can get that, and I believe it's Financial News and Daily Record. You just subscribe to it, and it's not very expensive. And you send letters and saying, look, sorry for your loss. I just wanted you to know if you do have property to dispose of, I'd be happy to buy it from you. Here's my phone number. You want the attorney to see it, and you want the individuals to see it. Because when a parent passes away and those kids inherit property, generally they're fighting already. Anybody ever gotten through a funeral with siblings that you didn't have a fight? It's tough. So they're generally at odds, and they want to sell that property and divide the money. They don't want to own it together. They don't want to rent it. They want the cash. And that is a very, very good market that we're ignoring, basically. So I see these as places that you can buy in this market. Okay, who can you sell to? Who are the active buyers right now? I'm going to tell you who we're selling to. And this is in order of where we're selling the most. Our number one customer is self-directed IRAs. That is our number one customer. What they are doing is people are looking in their IRAs, and I used to tell people, don't buy property in your IRA. Why do you think I did that? They didn't get any tax advantages. Doug's right. I mean, if you don't get depreciation, you can't write off the interest. That's a tax loss, right? But guess what? In this market, high equity and income have trumped the tax write-offs because the returns that most people are getting in their IRAs are so low. They would be better off to invest in real estate and take those returns and forget the tax advantages, forget the depreciation. Depreciation, of course, one day has recapture. You don't have to worry about that when you don't take it. And if you can convert your self-directed IRA and invest that money, you can do very well. We'll talk about that a little more in the rest of the presentation, but that's our number one customer. In today's market, real estate might be the highest returns that people's IRAs have ever seen. We'll talk more about the rates that most of them are earning, but this is our number one buyer. And if you're trying to sell property and you're trying to sell rental property, you really don't need to ignore that because that should be your number one buyer. Our number two buyer is direct cash buyer. See, the market's changed. Our number one buyer used to be people that were buying and refinancing. They're number three now. Our number one buyer is IRAs. Our number two buyer is what I call a direct cash buyer. They're not buying within their IRA. What they're doing is they're just paying cash. What they're doing is they're converting dollars to income property or gold. There are a lot of people that are smart, that understand this economy. Anybody listen to Hank Madden? I love his radio show. And he's telling people, get your assets out of cash, get out of the dollar. He sees a crash coming, and I don't know if he's right or not, but most people don't feel real comfortable leaving their assets in dollars, because if we do get into some pretty big inflation, which most of the experts say we're not going to avoid that, the value of the dollar is going down. And just because you have $1,000 doesn't mean that it's worth any more than whatever you can buy with it. It could, if gas gets to $10 a gallon, basically the value of your dollar has gone down by over half. Okay, so people are looking at inflation on the horizon because of our spending problems, and I don't understand everything in Washington, but I understand we're getting a pretty bad deal right now overall. So they look for dollars to go down, so they're either wanting to do one of two things. A lot of them that don't understand real estate are putting their dollars in gold, silver, precious metals. And that may be the second best thing, but real estate is low priced now. It's bargain priced. And here's the main thing, real estate produces income. Is gold bargain priced right now? No, gold is high. And guess what? How much income do you get from gold? Zero. Okay, so with me, I don't have any money in gold. Every penny I own, everything I own just about is now in rental property. And I'm buying more just every time I get $1, it goes into a cheap rental property. And that's just basically me looking at the future. And again, we'll talk about that more later. I just want you to know who your best buyers are right now that we're dealing with. And the first one is self-directed IRAs. The second one are direct cash buyers. Now, number 3 would be out-of-country syndicators. Everybody understand what a syndicator is? It's a person that takes something and sells shares in it. I have some gentlemen from Israel. Some of you may have met them at the last meeting. They came over to go to our inaugural Pro-RIA kickoff meeting. What they do is they find investors in Israel, and there's a little bit of money in Israel, okay? They find investors in Israel that pool their money together and they manage it over here. They are investing in rental property in America. Their country's houses might cost $300,000 average. The average house in Israel is about $300,000. And it's kind of funny, I have some customers in New Zealand and they parallel each other. The average house in New Zealand is $300,000. And we're talking about the same house here is under $100,000. Okay, so they have to pay $300,000 for a house in Israel, and it only rents for about $1,500 a month. They can pay $30,000 for a house here. They can buy 10 of them, which rent for $6,000 a month or $7,000 a month. So they see these returns, and guess what they see us as? This is hard for you to believe and hard for me to understand. They see America as an emerging market. See, I always think of an emerging market being some backward little country. Well, because they have developed to the point that their real estate is very expensive and there isn't a lot of it. They're a small country with a lot of people. We're a big country with not as many people. But as our population grows and scarcity comes along, they see our property is going to be where theirs is one day. That's what they feel. So they see us as an emerging market. They're pooling together dollars in their home country and they're investing in America. Again, sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. Sometimes we don't realize what's out there for us right now. So they are one of my best buyers. And last but not least would be refinance portfolio builders. People that are building a portfolio by refinancing it. Now, as some of you know, and I'm sure you do, myself included, the first 4 are easy. After you have 4 loans, you've got to do some different things. And we're looking now and experimenting, trying to get some brokers that may have some money that they'll portfolio, but Fannie Mae limits you to 4. Theoretically, it can be 10. But if you get past 4, you got to be pretty strong. You got to have real strong credit, you got to have real good reserves, and you've got to have been in the market for a little bit. Okay, so that being the case, the first 4 are easy, the second 4, you must be very strong or you must obtain private financing. So we are selling a few houses to people that have private financing. We'll talk about that a little more. And by the way, when Larry Harbault comes in April, that's what he specializes in. He's going to come in and really help us to understand how to present ourselves to get private financing. Adam, let me get the microphone over there by you. What we're trying to do is have a little roaming microphone here tonight because a lot of people, when they look at the video, can't hear the question.
So the out-of-country syndicates.
Yes.
Any idea how we might make contact with those or?
They've just come to us because of our web presence, and we're working on that now. We just have so many things to do, but we would like to find a way to get to them. I would say maybe Jacksonville Magazine, some of the magazines that they read, find some periodicals in their country. Well, what's happened with us, we've made just one international connection, and they're absorbing just about everything we need to sell right now. So if we had 2 or 3 more, we'd have to ramp up getting more properties, which we hope we'll do, especially with our associations here within this group, that we'll have more properties coming through that we can market to them. So we haven't done that yet because we got more buyers than we have houses at this point. But we'll talk about that a little bit. I'll have you more information on March 2nd about that. Okay. The retail market. We've talked about the market that I concentrate on is the rental market. What I do is I buy generally rental property because to me that's a hot ticket right now. And I'll show you a little bit later. I've got some articles to show you as to why that is. I think the retail market, to me, is slow, but now I haven't retailed a house in 2 years. It could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I can tell you that what I see as, I see it as a tenuous market. And the reason for that is you've got strict qualifying for buyers and credit's tight, which means you have fewer buyers. A lot of retail sales seem to be short sales. And what does that mean? It means people that are looking for a deal, rather than buying just a straight house retail that's been fixed up and in beautiful condition, they're willing to do a little bit of work, maybe carpet and paint, and go buy a short sale because they know it's going to be a really, really good deal. And what's happening there too, investors like us, we're having to compete on those short sales when you get up into the nicer houses, which are what you want to be able to retail. So I see it as a pretty tough market. I think it will get better, and we're going to look at some statistics that may bear that out. Appraisals remain low due to foreclosures as comps. When you have foreclosures in neighborhoods, until those get cleared out, even, believe me, they have foreclosures in nice neighborhoods. I'm looking at one right now at about a $600,000 waterfront house. Looking at another one that's, was a $300,000 waterfront house. There are foreclosures in all these neighborhoods, and when those become your comparable sales, they drag the appraisals down. You may sell a house at $200,000, it may appraise for $150,000, so your deal's over. So I see those as some things that concern me a little bit about the retail market. Now, I would say that this is a good market for delayed purchase programs. If you can bring people in on a delayed purchase, what some people call a rent to own, then that would be a pretty good market, but then you've got to get that financing. So you either got to buy it subject to, or you've got to have some interim financing, which can be expensive. This shouldn't be on the presentation. That was a typo that got through. What do the retailers in ProREA see? I don't like to talk a lot about what I don't do, and I'm not a retailer. I'm basically into rental property. I know we have some people in here that do some retails. And so, who's a retailer? Who's done some retails lately? Bob?
Yeah,
No, just need to get it there.
Yeah, I've been able to buy some REOs a little easier now than before because the hedge funds are starting to back out a little bit. Your wholesalers tend to have a little bit of more inventory now that they're trying to get rid of. And then I'm finding that the houses in the first-time buyer market, somewhere between 150 and down are going to be the markets that you're able to sell in.
Down to where, Bob? Because at the bottom is at 120, 110?
I would even work down into the hundreds. If you can retail it out at 100, that you still have some buyers in that market. I will tell you that FHA is coming out in June. I believe it's June that they're going to come out and require that that all FHA loans will have PMI on it for the life of the loan. That's going to hurt. And if you can buy and put money down, at least 20% down, they're going to require minimum 11 years on the loan for PMI. and they are going to raise the PMI insurance that's currently on properties now. So I think you're going to find FHA is going to take a hit here pretty quick for first-time home buyers. So that might squeeze the market a little bit. The market in itself, I find it's starting to go up. You've got a lot more buyers out there, just like these people that are buying REOs are having trouble finding houses. I think there's a lot of retail buyers out there that are starting to buy some more property. I've decided I'm moving in the house that I rehabbed down in Black Creek, and I put my house in the market on Sunday up in Glen Kernan area, and I've had 11 showings since Sunday. So that tells you there's a lot of buyers out there that are still looking for that end of the market.
But in a good neighborhood, right?
Oh yeah, it's in a good neighborhood. Yeah, I mean it's in a decent neighborhood, nice house.
What kind of price range?
250, 260 price range. I'd love to get more.
And to me, I think that's where you got to be right now if you want to retail. I looked at one and I got outbid on it. I bid 74. Adam did for me, and I know someone I know outbid me. I couldn't see going any higher. You know, and the person that outbid me is a wholesaler. So maybe I just don't know enough about that market, but I was skittish at 74 and I got outbid. So
the challenge you have with it, Joe, though, is 80% of your market that's buying right now are first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
So they are in the lower end. Plus, you're going to find right now you still got bond programs that have fired back up again. There is bond money out there for these folks. So yeah, there's buyers out there that are doing the same thing. Unfortunately, there is a huge group of people out there that can't get financing at all. And we'd like to think it's keeping our rentals full, but that doesn't seem to be working as much either. So I don't know where these people are.
Right. Okay, Bob, appreciate it. Bob's easy to start. He's hard to stop.
Yeah.
Anybody else that wanted to say anything about the retail market? I mean, Bob knows a lot more about it than me because that's what he's doing. Anybody else? Okay. I want to show you something here. This is from a book. This is old. I've had this for over a year. Not from a book. It's from a magazine, I believe. Maybe it'll give us a credit. Mark Hirschmeyer. Through the 12 months ending mid-2011, the Census Bureau reported a net increase of 1.4 million households that moved into rental housing, a 4% rise in the number of tenant households in just 1 year. I can tell you it probably has accelerated since then, but people are moving from being property owners to being renters. That's why we have so many foreclosures out there. The U.S. home ownership rate has fallen about 1.5% for the past year, from 66.9% to 65.9% during the second quarter of 2011, with owner rates falling by 4.4% to 21.9% for those under 25 years of age, and by 7% for those aged 25 to 29 years. Now, what this means is fewer young people are buying houses. More of them are renting. Renters now make up more than 40 million households, about 1/3 of total U.S. households. For every 1% that the current home ownership level of 66% decreases, 1 million individuals become renters. We really are moving from the dream of home ownership to people are renting. Anybody here that owns ever thought about renting? I have. I mean, I look at some of what's out there, and you can rent some, especially the expensive places. You can get some real deals if you want to pay $2,000 a month rent. You can live in a mansion these days. So people are looking at that, and there are a lot of people that are renting. This is a magazine. My wife, I don't know if she subscribed or just got a copy. It's a pretty neat magazine if you're interested in it. It's called Newsmax. It's kind of a conservative Newsweek. There's an article in here called Building Trust in Real Estate Investment. It talks about REITs. REITs are real estate investment trust. To get into a REIT, I believe you have to show a net worth. I think it's $150,000 and have a certain income level. They are pretty well regulated. To begin a REIT, you have to have 100 qualified members to get in. So they're for people with more money. But what I thought was interesting